Oh, there it is. Is that it? It is. Here comes Minmus, everyone. Hey, we are making it. Albeit at a snail's pace. But we're making it. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Kerbal Space Program with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to the beautiful Kerbal Space Center, where it's currently in the middle of the night, but our Kerbal engineers have managed to slap together yet another rocket to hopefully bring us over to Minmus for the first time ever. We have, over the last few episodes, really done a good bunch of missions, which, well, brought us to the moon countless times, brought us to Kerbal orbit countless times, but we were really awaiting finally being able to go somewhere else. And the time has come. We managed to, in the last episode, slap together our newest rocket called Minmus Go Boom, which should be able to hopefully go ahead and get us into Minmus orbit and back, and, well, the whole thing, hopefully and preferably, in one piece. So that is the plan for today. We'll get this thing on the launch pad, preferably with Jeb and our scientists in it, not our engineer. We always get the two mixed up. And we will go for a launch towards Minmus, get on our merry way, and hopefully sooner rather than later finally meet the ice moon of Kerbin. So very much looking forward to that, and we are going to go and get started on that right away after asking you to, if you're new around here and happen to enjoy this episode, make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below. I would really appreciate that a ton. We're still a very small channel, and every single subscriber counts in our journey to 1,000 subscribers, so it would really mean the world to me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and actually get right into it. First things first, crew. This is the most important part. See? Bill's already sneaked his way onto there again. And we don't want to take Bill. We want to take Bob. So Bob is the guy we're taking, and Jeb, which, by the way, Jeb apparently has nearly got enough experience for a level 2, which should be cool. Really interested to see what's going to go, what that's going to go and get us. And then Bob here, vessel science return 105%, so apparently you get some extra science returns, which is quite nice indeed. Now, that is the crew setup complete. I don't think that we do have anything in terms of cargo setup that we need to do here, really. Should all be pretty good to go. I mean, we could carry some stuff with IMK2 command pod, apparently, which is interesting. Is that where these here go, I guess? We do only really have these, so yeah, given that we don't have like a central station and stuff, I don't think this really gets us anywhere yet. But very interested to see how this whole cargo things work when we actually go and get the on-ground scientific equipment going. That said, let's double check one more time that we have everything, and I guess then we're going to get going. So, pod, heat shield, important part after the last few episodes. If you didn't miss those, you know, make sure to check out me screaming while on my way back home to Kerbin. We do have our Science Junior, all the science instruments generally that we want. We've got the science container, which is important. Parachute, a very important bit as well. Electronics covered, and the SAS as well covered, of course. We do have some level of RCS, including a few RCS tanks, nothing crazy, but at least some basics. And otherwise, we've got the main stages. Good bunch of Delta V in those stages, which should hopefully be nice and sufficient. And I would argue that that's pretty much everything that we need. So, without further ado, double checking the crew once more. Let's go ahead, get ourselves on the launch pad, and we will hopefully go on our merry way to Minmus. Maybe we're going to just double check that we actually have taken the contract when we sit on the launch pad, because wouldn't that be sad? We go there, we come back, we discover that we didn't even have a contract to complete. So double checking that bit as well. Fly by Minmus. Oh yeah, that's another point. We don't even need to orbit, we just need to do a flyby, so that will hopefully make things a little easier for us. Now I do have Bob here, scientist, just triple confirming, because you know, Those Kerbals really like to sneak on and make our life a whole lot more difficult. And we're actually going to go and fix this stage here, because this should actually kind of in fact not work like that, to be honest. This should work like that. So, basically, engines ignite, struts, then these eventually detach, then this eventually detaches, then we have this stage, which does eventually detach, and then we have the parachute. Always good to double, triple check your staging, because it never really works out quite the way you had intended it to. Lights. Fancy. Turn off lights again. Now, let us have a quick look at the map. We are all the way down here at Kerbal Space Center, and we do want to go all the way out there to Minmus. Now, we do kind of need to see when we can go on our burn over, because technically, if you look at this, there is only 2 points, well, 2 points in the whole, like, orbit of Minmus and Kerbin and everything else, where we can really realistically burn over. Unless we want to, like, adjust our pane, like, off orbit and everything, which, you know, we can do, and we may do, like, when we actually do something a little more complicated and we really need to, but I mean, generally speaking, it's a little more fuel efficient for us to just go ahead and burn over somewhat on these points and kind of try and meet Minmus on our own pane instead of having to adjust our pane, because that means that we do burn a little less fuel at the end of the day. So that should be the goal. Now, we do have to see if we're going to make this orbit. Minmus being a little further out is, of course, not orbiting by far as quickly as the moon, which you can see. Well, pretty much double the orbit speed, but still rather significantly fast, so we may have to just go and, well, spin around and orbit happily for a little while. But we will see about that. For the time being, I think the task has to be that we do actually go and get ourselves into orbit. So, I'm going to go and set like 2/3, no, 3/4 rather, of throttle, and technically it's 3/3, no? Anyways, we're going to go and set that, and we're going to go and ignite the engine. We're going to go and go for liftoff, and we're going to instantly turn those engines down, because as expected, those solid fuel boosters are more than sufficient to get us up to speed. And we're instantly going to do a little bit of a slight turneroo. Now, we've got to be very gentle on this, again, because, well, while we do have some stabilizing fins and the SAS, of course, we do not really have a well, swiveling engine that is there to kind of stabilize us with the thrust vectoring that it usually has. So turning in thick atmosphere like this can very quickly unsettle the craft. You can see, in fact, that we're even already about to hit the sound barrier, despite not having a single bit of assistance by the liquid fuel engine, which I find quite insane. I am going to go and add a little bit to it to kind of try and intensify that turn. You can see that's really not working out that well for us. I kind of want to have the rocket turn over further, but it's really not that stable right now. That said, there we go on that. Throttle up the main engine. The solid fuel boosters are gone, and this should, oh god, with a little bit of explosions, hopefully mean that we will have a little bit of a better time at actually angling our craft in to go and get that orbit going around Kerbin. Now, it would be quite nice if we could already see, oh yeah, we're at 73,000 meters of apoapsis already. I am just going to go pretty much angle us all the way in, and we're going to go like this and just get some lateral velocity going. If we go all the way up to like 80,000 meters or something, I don't mind. That way we can already start extending out that apoapsis and thus our orbit around Kerbin. Now you can see that it's unfortunately a little skewed, because with all the wiggling of the rocket, we did unfortunately not really quite manage to stay in the center line here that we had targeted. But overall, I would argue it's not too terrible. Hopefully still doable, because Minmus is not that far away in the end. Now, we are going to go and get ourselves a little maneuver node going here on the apoapsis, and we are going to go and make sure to get that periapsis extended out as far as is necessary. and that should be about sufficient. Now we do have that node and 50 seconds and a burn time, rather importantly, 45 seconds, so that is actually 49 even, so at 25-ish seconds we already need to get going. And you can see we're already in space. We already get the space sounds. It's all beautiful and fine and nice and lovely, but we do need to get going in 3, 2, 1. Oh, get going. Oh, that was not an efficient countdown, was it? But we're going to go and get that orbit going around Kerbin. We're going to have a little bit of Delta V remaining at the end of the stage, albeit it won't be that much, in fact. And then this stage right here is going to probably do a good bit of the job for us. So, gonna have to see. It's not that much fuel remaining. Hopefully it'll work out fine. Jeb, Bob, don't get stranded. Fingers crossed. We will see about that one. I think it's about 300 meters a second of Delta V remaining in this stage. And then that one we need to see. It's currently telling me 2,500 meters a second. I don't think that it accounts already for the loss of weight when we detach this stage. So we'll have to see just how accurate that in fact is. Now, we're quite close here. We did already have the orbital camera change, so that's a good sign, but we're going to just slowly ease in right here. And that's 0.1 meters a second off, so I'm quite happy with that. Now, that is orbit achieved. 80,000 meters here, 79,000 there. It's a little skewed, as you can see, unfortunately, which I'm really not that happy with. Maybe we want to fix that. Maybe not. It does seem that it's kind of in the right spot, just at the right time here. So what we do need to kind of look at now... Oh my god, that's a lot of Delta V needed. Oh god, that is a moon in the way. Ha ha ha. Okay, so that is, yeah. That was kind of my worry here. We could do something like that, which would get us a periapsis of 1.5 million meters. Well, technically, this would be sufficient, right? Because we only really need to fly by Minmus. We do not really... Why are we that far away, though? 2.05, 920,000. Kind of a bit confused as to in which direction we are off. I feel like it's due to the angle difference between our orbit and Minmus's orbit that we're having a little bit of trouble actually properly closing that in. So we can make it about 700,000 meters. 500. And that's also 500. So something along these lines is really the best that we're going to get. But the benefit here being... Now we would pretty much just get slingshot out at the end and more or less just yeeted back at Kerbin. So all the Delta V that we currently have would be more than sufficient, and we would quite quickly be able to take care of this mission. So I think in the interest of efficiency and trying to not have our Kerbal stranded in the middle of nowhere, we will take this on like this for the time being. And we'll see just how close we get to Minmus. I hope it's close enough so you guys can have a first look at it, because, well, we're quite sure that we will go for low moon, not low moon, but low Minmus orbit. Probably after that, I would assume, and then some Minmus landing somewhere down the line. So that's the plan, I guess. We'll go for something like this, and hopefully it'll work out quite fine for us indeed. So let's go ahead and head to that node, or at least a little closer for the time being, because now that we're on the bright side of Kerbin, I am going to go quickly turn on that RCS to induce some extra rolling speed without having to wait for like 2 bajillion years. And then we're going to go and point ourselves over to that marker, the burn marker to be precise. And there we go. That is sufficient. We can go and continue, and we're going to time warp on to our burn marker. We've got a burn time of 33 seconds, which may be a bit of an issue because it's far less than accurate. I'm not sure how high the thrust of that stage is, to be honest, is the issue. It's not using the same engine. Otherwise, you know, we could already assume that we need less than 33 seconds due to the loss in weight. So I'm not entirely sure when we start our burn, to be quite honest with you. Usually it would be about 15 seconds. Maybe we just do like 13 or something, and then we hope that that somehow works out. So we'll do 13 seconds ahead of the node. We'll start burning pretty much. That said, we only have very little time remaining, so let's go and make some final teeny tiny adjustments here. Beautiful oversized engine, by the way. And then we can go and get a little bit closer. Just like that. And we will go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Just intentionally hesitating there for a second. But we do, of course, also have the stage separation coming in, so we do probably need that as a little bit of extra time too. We'll see where we end up. I hope that it does end up working out for us. Oh my god! That was certainly not advisable. Do not try at home, kids. We do have quite the long burn time remaining, so I'm a little afraid that we may miss our marker the way we had intended to hit it, to be honest. This stage is a lot weaker compared to weight than I'd really hoped it was going to be. Also, as you can see down there, the delta V estimation was actually rather accurate. So, probably a good decision to stay a little conservative with this Minmus slingshot and not try and come in a lot closer. Because, you know, I mean, while 2,000 meters a second is not nothing at the end of the day, it's also not really a huge ton of fuel remaining for us. That said, let us go and remove that maneuver node right there. And we have got an encounter with Minmus. We have got it at 800,000 meters. Okay, so we did miss it a teeny tiny bit. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, I hope. We're going to see how close we get. Hopefully, it is close enough for you guys to take a little bit of a closer look. And the worst case, well, maybe we can adjust things here once we get out of Kerbin orbit a little bit. Let's actually maybe have a quick, short check-in there. So, say we want it to go and adjust that a bit. Oh, there it was. What is that? Is that a periapsis in Minmus? I wouldn't hope so, most certainly. No. Ah, so here we would end up on the other side. Here we would end up at 550k. Was that 100? Oh, that's 172k. For 4.1 meters a second. Okay, I would argue that we can definitely go and make that adjustment. Let me go and find my way over. Now, happily without RCS, because you can see just how efficient we are at maneuvering now with that rest of the stage gone. Here's our burn marker. 0.1 seconds of a burn in 21 days. Wow, that is already quite a long voyage, I would say. Our Kerbal are going to have some fun here. When do we actually get there? Oh no, wait. Oh. Right, so that's the reason. Can we go and replan that maneuver, please? Because that was not, I was not intending to do this on the second orbit. I actually kind of wanted to get you guys a little closer for, well, this one, you know. So let's go and see if we can. I do have the unfortunate feeling. Let's abort that. Maybe I think we need to adjust this on a different pane here now. Yeah, so this is getting it further away. And this is also getting it further away. Okay. Is it then really on the height? Well, height pane. It's not really height, right? It's space. There is no up and down, no above and below. Ah, yes. This is 492,000 meters, which I would say is a lot better. 449 to 89. We're getting closer, guys. 181. 167. Okay, I think that's 20 meters a second. That's as close as we're going to try for. Well, maybe we can go a little further from the looks of that. No, it's 241. Okay. So that's going to be more or less as close as we try for the time being. But at least it's going to get us a significant bit closer, which will hopefully mean for you guys that you'll be able to spot Minmus a lot better in the distance. Because, of course, I mean, it's the smaller moon of Kerbin, so it's not as easily visible as the moon. But still, it's quite a beautiful sight, I would hope. So I would like to go and offer you guys a little bit of a view here too. So, let's go and get closer to that node. Not too fast, not too fast with the time warp, please. Gotta make sure not to zoom past here. But, there we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's pretty much it. Just do the last minute adjustments here. Spot on, which is beautiful. We will go and remove that maneuver node. Now that gets us down to periapsis of 190,000 meters, which I would say is quite nice indeed. 6 days, so not quite as long as a journey as we had thought, but still quite a long journey. I mean, we're like 2 hours into this flight, so goodbye, Kerbin. And on our way to Minmus we go. You can see just how slow this orbit gets out here. Kerbin's still spinning off in the distance, same as the moon. The question being, can we already spot Minmus somewhere in the distance here? I think technically it should be reflecting. There should be sunlight on it. But I am absolutely... Ooh, did I just see there? Oh, there it is. Is that it? It is. Here comes Minmus, everyone. Hey, we are making it. Albeit at a snail's pace. But we're making it. Look at this. Minmus is coming in. First time ever that we've made it to over here. So that's great news indeed. And you guys will have the opportunity to take a little bit of a closer look at this beautiful little ice moon. Now, before we actually get there, we cannot pause, but let me go and check. If all the way up here we do get something different. Ooh, yes, we do. So we're going to go and get some experiments done here real quick. Because we do want to make sure to take as much data with us as possible. Wow, look at all that. Beautiful. So that is a lot of data collected. And on top of that, we can go and get a crew report going here. Oh, it is actually space high over Minmus already. I totally missed that. Crew report while in space, the lake beds seem relatively flat. Perhaps we could land there. Indeed. Very nice, isn't it? So that is a lot of stuff there already. Now, we do need to go ahead with Bob and take all this stuff out. Or not, if I do have something in front of this which just clicks me out of the Kerbal Space Program window. Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? There we go. So here goes Bob. And we will take the data here, first things first. And let's go, get the RCS turned on. And we'll kind of fly around and kind of collect all the data, store the experiments pretty much, and reset the experiment with him. So, I mean, the resetting, of course, is what we do have him for, with us for at the end of the day. Remove data, restore. And now this is operational again. We can use it again. And we can still store the experiments with Bob out here. Now, kind of got to do the same thing out here for the mystery goo now and for all the other things that are on the other side of this rocket. We also really have to hope that we do have enough RCS fuel to do this multiple times throughout the journey. So, we'll see. Remove, restore. And then we go and store the experiments. We do the same thing here with this little thing. This thing we don't have to reset because you can just do it as many times as you want. It doesn't render inoperative after taking the data away. And I think it's the same for the thermometer out here. Yup, indeed it is. So it's the last bit here. Store experiments. And now we need to find our way back in. Actually, we don't, because we do an EVA report first. If you recorded your observations about the situation. Boring. Wait, we've got a visor to lower? Oh my god! That is new! Look at this! It's got a visor! I love that! Hey! Oh, don't drift off the... Oh god, no, please no. Oh, we're not going to try and drift off here. But what we can do is store the EVA report as well. And then we are going to make our way back to the capsule happily ever after. So... right here it should be, right? I hope. Grab. And aboard. Beautiful! There's tons and tons and tons of research data already collected. To be honest, I'm getting a bit worried that we don't have enough storage for all the science data that we get out of this at home. So, we may have to go and intermittently come back to just use up as much science data as possible. Because I'm quite sure this mission will get us to the brink of our capacity. So I'm very intrigued by that. But, with that said, with Minmus already in the background here, with us already in high space above Minmus, and with us having the flyby Minmus bit already complete, I think I'm going to leave off here for today. We are going to go, next episode guys, and get closer to Minmus. You guys will have a beautiful and somewhat close look, hopefully. Maybe we'll get some more experiments collected, if possible. I really hope so. And then we're going to go for a little slingshot and make our way back home and hopefully land with tons and tons of signs in our bags. So, fingers crossed right there, that's the plan for the next episode. For today though, we're ending it off here in space, high over Minmus. I hope you all very much enjoyed this episode. Of course, if you did, please make sure to go ahead and smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. With all those things out of the way though, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.